With the raging war, West Asia is back in focus, and this time the reason is oil. After sanctioning Russian oil and gas, Joe Biden's immediate priority is to stabilize oil prices. That is, making West Asian countries pump more oil. But there's one problem. He cannot get through to them. According to US media reports, leaders of Saudi Arabia and the UAE are not answering Biden's calls. We tell you more.
West Asia, a region that is a top priority for all US presidents. When Biden entered the White House last year, one of his main priorities was recalibrating United States' West Asia policy. But it looks like there are some relations that are beyond repair, like that with key ally Saudi Arabia. Under Donald Trump, Saudi Arabia had a long rope. The president overlooked its dismal human rights record. The murder of Khashoggi and the war in Yemen did not bother him. But under Biden, all of that changed. He did not call Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He released declassified intelligence reports on the killing of Khashoggi and documents looking into Saudi's connection to the 9/11 attacks. Since then, the US-Saudi relationship has been on the rocks. In fact, when he was asked about high gas prices in February, Biden snubbed Saudi Arabia. He said, and I quote, "There's a lot of Middle Eastern folks who want to talk to me. I'm not sure I'm going to talk to them." The snub echoes a campaign promise Biden made. He wanted to turn Mohammed bin Salman into a global pariah. But a lot has changed since then. Inflation is at a 40-year high. Midterm elections are looming. And Russia has plunged the world into its biggest energy crisis in the last decade. So Biden seems to have changed his approach since then. Biden wants West Asian nations to pump more oil. Just one problem: he cannot get through to them. According to US media reports, the leaders of Saudi Arabia and the UAE are not answering Biden's calls. Reports say in the last few weeks, the White House tried to arrange two calls, one with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the second with the UAE's Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Both men refused to take the call. But do you know what's even more humiliating? Both leaders spoke to Vladimir Putin. What does this snub reveal? A trust deficit. Both Saudi Arabia and the UAE are key US defense partners. They depend on American weapons. They depend on American leadership. And Biden has failed to give both. Reports even suggest that Biden is mulling a visit to Saudi Arabia. The White House calls this a premature speculation. But a trip to Riyadh could indicate the gravity of the crisis and how it is forcing Washington to reorder its priorities. However, the Crown Prince is not making it easy for Biden. Last week, MBS went out of his way to call out the White House in an interview. When asked about if President Biden misunderstands him, this is what the Crown Prince had to say. Simply, "I do not care. We don't have the right to lecture you in America. The same goes the other way." The fact is, the rise in oil prices doesn't just benefit Russia. It also helps Saudi Arabia. Riyadh controls 55% of the world's crude oil supply. At the current rate, Riyadh is projected to earn over $375 billion from oil this year, a nearly 150% increase from last year. Biden needs to convince Saudi Arabia to boost oil production, but that will not be without caveats. In return, Riyadh could lobby for more defense deals and an active US involvement in the Yemen war. As for the UAE, They urged the US to put the Houthis on its list of terrorist groups and to send more military aid to help defend the country. But the US hasn't moved to address those Emirati concerns. Currently, Biden has an uphill task ahead of him. These are regimes he once sought to isolate or avoid. But with oil prices soaring, he is turning to them. The question remains, will they finally answer his call? West Asia Bureau, WION World is One.